told myself I was going to chill for a while. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get this shit right. There we go. So I told myself I was going to not make a video today, but somebody kind of made me make a video. Being single sucks is what they say. And you know what? They got a good point. I can see why they say that. But guess what? Being in a relationship with the wrong person or an unhappy relationship sucks even more. I'd rather be alone and suffer than to suffer with somebody. And we're not talking about suffering with somebody in the way of you caring about them and y'all going through shit. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about them constantly making you fight and argue. Maybe they cheat, whatever. I said it before and I'll say it again. And I'll say it 1,000 billion trillion times. Once a relationship is over, it's over. It doesn't matter if the bodies are still there. It don't matter. The bodies could be there all day long. That don't mean shit. Because once people cross the line of the perception of how they actually feel about each other, there's really no going back. Especially if they was deeply close to each other. Now, it could happen maybe if you was knowing somebody and maybe y'all fell out, but y'all really didn't get close, so it's not gonna hurt as much. So you still could be like, you know what, maybe I was tripping or some shit. But when it's some deep shit that y'all been together and then it happens, good luck with that, man. Y'all gotta focus on yourselves, man. And I know it's hard, especially when people have kids and things like that. It makes it even harder, especially if you got kids by the person, because you're always gonna want to make that shit work. But unfortunately, once it stops working, it's at a point of no return. I've even seen uncles and aunts that you would thought never break up in the end. Yeah, they best friends now, or they still deal with each other on a social level because they had kids and shit together. But you would never think they would ever break up, and it happens. It happens, man. Y'all gotta realize that being single is not worse than being in a relationship. The problem is a lot of people are not looking for love within themselves. They're looking for it within other people, or someone else, should I say. And another problem is you kind of make your bed that you got to lay in. So you pick the wrong person, and now you got to deal with the wrath of that. You got to deal with the pain of walking away and shit. That's part of the process. But the pain will never stop. I say this all the time to people who can't figure it out. The pain will never, it's going to hurt either way, basically. Either way it's going to hurt, right? Even if the person is trash and they did you dirty, it don't matter. It don't matter how bad they did you, the shit's still going to hurt. But, and if you stay, it's going to hurt. So I always tell people, once it gets to the point that it hurts the same to stay that it does to leave, just leave. Because either way it's going to hurt. And eventually you get past that shit when you leave. But if you stay, you don't get past that shit, man. You don't get past it, man. You just keep opening the wound. And they're going to, and the problem is, if you don't completely cut somebody off, they're going to come back. They're going to come back and try to run a little ass game on you, and you're going to fall for it. Because that's what you want to believe, and that's what you want them to be. And that's what you want you want to make it work with the person. So that's why you fall for it, because you're gullible to the lie. You see what I'm saying? You're gullible to the lie, so you'll fall for it. It's happened to me many a times, man. But all I can say is, it does suck being single, because you know what it's like to be with somebody. But at the same time, I wouldn't trade it for nothing, because now I don't hurt. You see what I mean? Now I don't have to deal with somebody always argue with me and knowing they mess with somebody else or whatever, man. Just a bunch of disrupted peace. You know what I'm saying? I feel like you can't be scared. If you really want, this goes for anybody, if you really want the shit to stop, like once it gets to the point that it hurts just as much to stay as it does to go, then you might as well just go ahead and go, because it's not going to change, man. But beware, because once you leave, they always going to come back, because you was good to them. So they're going to come back and they're going to try they little bullshit, and 9 times out of 10 you will fall for it, because this is the perception that you want of the person. You know, this good person, like maybe he's gonna or she's gonna do this time finally, but they don't, man. I'm telling y'all the truth, man, because I've been there and done it too many times. They don't. They just don't. They're not going to, man. You know, which brings me to another point of a post that says, it said what did it say? A good woman will always be missed. That's bullshit. And I'm gonna tell you why. A good woman will be the only way a good woman really is going to be missed is if she's with a good guy that actually appreciated her, which means she wouldn't have left. He wouldn't have ran her off. You'll have guys that don't give a fuck about the good woman. Then she leaves, and what happens is they act like they missed the woman, so she doesn't like other people to come back. If the motherfucker really missed a good woman, he would have never allowed himself to miss her in the first place by running her off. You know? And if you think this is cap, then ask yourself this. Ask yourself this if you're a woman watching. Let's say it's a man that you are completely, you don't like at all. You're not attracted to him. Doesn't matter if he's good or not. Are you going to miss him because let's say this, a dude that you don't want at all, and he's a good dude. And he says, man, you know what? I'm just going to leave you alone. I'm going to block you. You're not going to miss that motherfucker. Let's be honest. Because you don't want him. So don't fall under that bullshit that I'm a good man, so they going to miss me. Good men, it's not about good woman or man. It's about attractive woman or man. It's about who's attracted to you and who wants you, should I say. Who wants you. That's what it's about. Because you could be a good man or good woman. That don't mean motherfuckers going to treat you right or want you. We all know this, man. It's the fucking truth, man. If it wasn't, then everybody would be with good women and men, and this world wouldn't be like this. You wouldn't see divorce and all this, because everybody would choose the good woman or man, right? By default, right? That's not what happens, though, is it? It's not. It's only about being a good woman or man, so you can hopefully pick the right good woman or man. Then it matters. Then they'll treat you right because they are a good woman or man. Good women and men treat good women and men right, because that's part of them being a good woman or man. You can't be a good woman or man if you got a good woman or man and you don't appreciate them. How? But all I can say is, man, don't be scared to leave situations, man, because they're not going to get any better. So if you get to the point that it hurts the state that it does to leave, then just get ready to leave. And I hate to say that, but I know from experience, I know from other people, you know, he'll never hit you again, and then the motherfucker hit the girl again. I mean, people just do what they do, man. It is what it is. And unfortunately, a lot of times, like being a man, when you a man that don't want drama and chaos and shit, it's kind of like, maybe not so much with me, but when I look around the world, it seems like that good guy, the woman don't want him. But then again, it seems like the good women The men don't want, or she's caught up with the wrong one, or that good guy's caught up with the bad woman. You know, but it's unfortunate that a lot of times we as people are attracted to the wrong shit in this world. I don't understand why. I don't understand why we don't like the good shit. You know, I try to monitor myself and make sure that I like the good things that matter in a woman instead of the bullshit, so I don't get caught up in the same bullshit again. Because it's so easy and it's so much of a thin-ass line to get caught up in the wrong type of women and men for the wrong reasons, and it's also so easy to overlook a good woman or man for little-ass, dumb-ass reasons that probably don't even matter. But, you know, the more you forgive a motherfucker, the more they're going to take you for granted because you're not leaving. That's the sad truth. You would think that, man, if I forgive her for what the fuck she did the other night, she would love me more because nobody else going to do this for her ever. Nobody else going to put up with that shit. And that might be true, but they don't appreciate it. They actually take it for granted. Like, he ain't going nowhere. He's weak. Look at him. He's weak. He can't even get no one other woman. Nobody else wants him. So therefore, I'm not going to do what I have to do as his woman. I'm just going to, whatever, basically talk to other men, whatever, right? Or vice versa with the men. With the men, she ain't going nowhere, dog. This is why men do what they do, man. Once a person gets to that comfortable stage of, I don't give a fuck really, you know, it's hard to go back to when y'all's actually treating each other better. You know, sometimes that shit was just a mask. You know what I'm saying? Like when people are real nice and treating you good at first, that Cinderella bullshit, a lot of times that shit's a mask, man. And then once they pull that mask off, that's when you see the real them, and they not changing. But don't be scared to be single. This is the whole point that I'm trying to make, because single can give you a great opportunity to become a great person, man. It also allows you to love yourself. So the next time a man starts doing his bullshit, or a woman, you don't have to put up with it. Or when you are looking for the right woman or man, right? You don't have to put up with it. So let's say this. Let's say I'm looking for a woman, right? And I know she's on some bullshit. You know how a lot of men will put up with the bullshit? You know she disrespectfully the other night at the bar or something, she was flirting with another guy in your face. If you scared to be single or scared to be alone, you're probably gonna put up with that shit. Or you might say, I got kids by the woman, I can't leave her. But once you find self-love by being on your own single for a while, you're not gonna put up with none of that shit. And that's gonna help you be able to find the right person, because you'll weed out the bullshit. A lot of people are in relationships right now, if you think about it, from when they first got in the relationship. They are in it because they basically probably put up with, there was probably flags and shit, but they were scared to be alone, so they was like, I'll just deal with him or her. You see what I mean? I'm scared to be alone, I'll just deal with him or her. I didn't put in too much time, I'll just deal with him or her. I've been there, man. Plus, you actually care about the person. So it makes it hard. You get scared, like, man, I don't know if I should leave. If I leave this person, maybe they're going to be happy and I'm going to be alone forever. I'm telling you, just let it all hang, dog. Don't be scared. Because a lot of that shit be lies, man. And if you gave your all, more than likely you're going to get what you deserve in the end, which is somebody that gives you their all. You know what I mean? But the ones who did dirty, they going to get theirs. It might seem like, well, they married now and this and that. That shit look good, man, but nah, they gotta pay for what they done, man. Like wishing death on people and I hate you and all that shit. They gotta pay for that shit, man. But I cannot tell people to leave people because I know how hard that shit is. You know what I mean? I've even had a woman a while back say that she would leave me right now, or leave that guy right now for me. And I told that girl, no, don't leave him for me, leave for you. And unfortunately, I lost that girl because of that, because I wouldn't put up with it. But guess what? If I was scared to be single, I'd have been putting up with it. You know, she would have been spending time with him, and I've been playing the sideline and fuck all that. You know what I mean? Why was I able to just leave that girl alone? And trust me, I didn't want to, right? Why was I able to do that? Because I'm not scared to be single. It doesn't mean I want to be single. It doesn't mean I'm jumping up and down for joy. Like, man, I'm so happy I'm single. Nah. But I love myself too much to be in a relationship that's not right. You see what I'm saying? And you gotta remember, some people are only getting in relationships for needs and shit. Like, a lot of men, I can't do my laundry, I can't do this or that, I need a woman. Literally. And they end up picking the wrong woman because the reason why they want a woman is based off of wrong shit. Or you can say the same thing vice versa with women. Survival tactics and shit. You don't need no man to survive, you need God. That's all you need. You don't need a man. You need God. And another thing that women got to realize, you have to break away from the bad guy so you can receive the good guy. Because if you don't, if you go from guy to guy or whatever, right, it's going to be hard for you to receive that guy because you're still thinking about the other guy. And this guy could be perfect. You might really be feeling him like 100%, but you thinking that you're only feeling 50% because your feelings are still tied up with the other motherfucker that you just seen last week or something. You gotta leave that shit alone first, and then when the guy come along, you'll be free. Versus you're tied up and you ruin a good dude, a perfect ass dude. You ruin him or girl, right? Because some of y'all men doing it. You ruin a perfect opportunity because you didn't want to let go. You don't know when the right person gonna come in your life, but what happens if the right person come in your life and you still hold on to the wrong motherfucker, or you're still allowing your ex to communicate with you and all this shit for no reason? Example, say I meet a great woman, new woman, and we cool and everything, right? But I kept my ex around. I let her stay around for no reason. We ain't got kids or nothing, but she can stay around. You know that new girl gonna think we still fucking, even if we not. And as soon as the ex find out I'm talking to a new girl, she gonna try to sabotage that anyway. And so will dudes. The moment they see that you about to get another person, they gonna be all like blowing your phone up and shit, trying to make it seem like they fucking and shit. Like motherfucking Future on that song, I Still Fuck C or whatever he said, with this bullshit. Y'all seen what he did? You know he lying. Well, I don't know if he lying, but I'm pretty sure he lying, man. I mean, he might not be, but I doubt it, man. I really doubt it. But don't be scared to be single, man. Because you're really not single. You're really going to be falling in love with yourself and self-improving yourself. And I get it, man. Companionship is it's a different type of love and shit than self-love and all that. But at the end of the day, self-love is the best, to be honest. I'm just being honest with you, man. It's the best. But you won't know until you actually fall in love with yourself. And the only way to do that is to be alone. I think everybody has to experience being alone at some point in their life, at some time in their life. I think it's needed. I think that's the only way people find themselves and know who they really are. Just my opinion. Because that's when I found myself and knew who I really was and knew how great I was and all that. I didn't really know none of that before. You know? Depending on other people to make you happy and all this other crazy shit. And most people are just full of shit, man, at the end of the day. Most people lie and scheme and cheat and shit. So, hell yeah, I'd rather be alone than to deal with that. Now, look, hear me out. Let's hypothetically say I was a fucking genie or something, and I can make myself have the perfect woman never in a happy relationship, or I could be happy single. Of course I'm gonna choose a relationship with the woman. Like no cheating and shit, right? Of course. But that's not the way the world is, right? Most people are on some bullshit. So that even makes it easier to be able to cope with being single. It makes it easier to me because every now and then I get sad, like, man, I ain't never been married, blah, blah, blah. And then some guy that I know or something start talking, and then, damn, another victim, another guy that got married, and now she's cheating. And I'm like, shit, I'm glad I'm not married. So it's a lot that goes into it, man. It's not a guarantee. The grass is always greener on the other side of the fence. So in other words, once you become single, right, you're going to think that it's better in a relationship and all that, but it's only better if you got the right person. It don't matter how much you like a person. Are they the right person? I can like a woman to the moon and back, but if she's cheating and arguing with me every day and won't even cook me a sandwich and shit, it don't fucking matter. I'm just liking the person more and more, and it's going to be harder to break away from that woman. That's it. And if I did leave and I'll let her come back, I'll just open the wound right back open. Back to square one once again. I'm telling y'all, I had to walk away from somebody before. And I didn't want to. Actually, I walked away from a few people. But different scenarios. Different scenarios. But either way, my life got better. I don't have no regrets. Back then, yeah, it was hard as fuck. Because you don't know what your life gonna be and all this other shit. But I'm telling you, man, you're gonna look back on it like, yeah, I should have left. Because you know when it's time to go, you know when the shit ain't gonna work. You just wanna hold on. Like, we just wanna hold on because, I guess, fear, man, or just being alone. Or we feel like we need this person. Or we're scared they're gonna find somebody else and all this other shit. To me, if somebody doing me wrong all the time and arguing and bickering, I don't give a fuck if they find somebody else. I mean, they just gonna do the same thing with them at the end of the day, right? Don't be scared to be alone, man. If you gotta do what you gotta do, you gotta do what you gotta do. But if you hold on, and once the relationship is to that point, it's not changing, man. It's just not. Because it's too late. Too much shit has happened. You know what I'm saying? To the point that it can't be really fixed. It can't be what it was. And I think that's what a lot of people hold on to. They can't let go of what it was. But a lot of times what it was not even, it was a lie. That wasn't never what it really was. It was just somebody wearing a mask. You see what I'm saying? But understand, if you're a person watching and you think you might want to leave somebody, understand it's going to hurt. Get it out your mind that it's just going to be a cakewalk. No, it's supposed to hurt. You're a human being. It's going to hurt. You're going to be sad. You're going to be disappointed and all that shit, right? It's going to. It's supposed to. That's part of the process. There's no getting around that. But if you don't want to go through that process, then stay through the process of being with the wrong relationship. And you already know how that is, and it's only going to get worse. So you got to pick a poison. One of these poisons will always poison you as long as you're there. Or you can pick this other poison that's only going to be, it's only going to fuck with you and hurt you for a little bit. Then you'll be all right. You'll be good. It's a no-brainer, man. I guess people might say, well, how do you know when it's time to let go? When you start feeling like you want to let go. To be honest, even though we're not going to do that as soon as we start feeling that way because we're human and we're harder. If we the ones that really care and shit, you're not going to do it the first time. That's why a woman could cheat and you don't really leave her right away. You're probably going to leave her eventually, but not that day. I mean, you're a cold motherfucker if you could do it. You know what I'm saying? Most people, they might not leave that day and shit. They might not fuck with her no more, but they just don't leave right away that day. I mean, maybe, but I doubt it, man. You're going to see the woman again, basically. But, man, if you want to stop hurting, as anybody watching, if you want to stop hurting, you got to take that step. Again, one day that girl that I had to leave alone because she wouldn't leave that toxic shit, she going to regret that shit. And she going to think back because I'm going to keep getting better. I'm going to tell you that right now. I'm going to tell you, that's one thing about being single. Ain't nothing stopping me from being great. You know what I'm saying? But she going to regret that shit because she probably didn't want to. She didn't want me to leave her alone. But I left her alone because it's not right. Because you won't choose. You see what I'm saying? I had this happen in my life before. I also been the person that had to leave a relationship before too. So, but either way, like I said, man, people think that it's going to change, and that's why they don't want to let go. And it's not going to change. It's just not. It's just not. Unfortunately, everybody don't believe in God, so they don't understand that it's the devil lying to you, making you scared to go with God, basically. You know, God is like, follow me, I got you. But the devil, no, don't do that. This will happen. What if he finds another woman? And what if you can't do this? And what if you can't do that? Everything he could think of to make you doubt God and God's path. Because the devil wants you to keep living his lie. It was a lie from the very beginning. If it wasn't a lie and it was true love, it wouldn't be in this situation. So in other words, every relationship that I was in, if that was really true love, why did it be in that situation? In the end, what happened? It was a lie. The devil lied. He duped you. Right? That's what happened. Because if it was from God, it wouldn't have happened that way. I don't think so. Because it would have been the right person. I would have been the right person. And we wouldn't have done each other wrong like that. You see what I'm saying? Not saying who's right, who's wrong, but just hypothetically saying both people did some shit, so the relationship don't work. And when the relationship don't work, you gotta realize, okay, I fucked up. Let me do it God's way now. Let me try to be patient and let God work in my life and try to show who he wants me to be with. Because God knows who's right for you. You really don't. And that's the problem with our lust. We think this one's right or that one's right, and we don't know shit half the time, man. That's why it's very important to really ask yourself, when you're looking at women and men, does this really matter in a man or not, or a woman or not? Does that, you know what I mean? You gotta look at shit that really matters. Not just look at shit that, oh, he's got tattoos and he's 6'8", and my pussy's throbbing. It's more to it than that. Because a woman could make my dick hard all day long. That don't mean she right for me, though. Just because she look good, that don't mean she right for me. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. Just saying, man. So, don't be scared to leave men alone, man. Don't worry about if you get better than them or who's next, and don't even worry about that. You're next. The love with yourself is next, not the next man. Don't worry about a man right now. Just worry about you, and if you got kids and you're listening, worry about them. If you don't got kids and you're listening, you better definitely get the fuck out of there before you do have a kid by the person. And then it's really going to get bad. I'm telling you, man, sometimes you got to throw in the cards while you're ahead of the game. Not only can you have a kid by a person or some shit like that, it drains you more and more to the point you can't love the next motherfucker. Because you keep giving your all to this shit that's not going to go nowhere. Then by the time you finally break it off or they leave you alone with something, it's going to end one way or the other. But when it does end, how will you feel? Will you be beat down to the point you don't want to love ever again? That's why it's important to know when to cut the cord. Not only to avoid pregnancy or things like this, but to avoid you being traumatized for the rest of your fucking life. So for instance, what happened to me a while back with the girl. I could have kept trying to like the chick, knowing that she can't leave dude and shit like that. It don't matter if she like me or not. Don't matter how much I like her. The situation wasn't right. Gotta go. But what if I kept holding on and all that bullshit? That shit will drag you to the fucking ground, man. I've actually held on to relationships longer than what I should have. Once I see that they was dealing with a mess with another guy, I should have left. It doesn't matter if they care about me and they only did it because they wanted to go do it for a while. That don't matter. I should have left right then. Should have left them alone right then and there. Instead of trying to make it work and all that. All that does is make you get to the point that you think every woman's the same. Man, they all the same. Fuck it, I'm going to be a player. That's why most of these men are players. Because they didn't get, somebody hurt them and now they just out here hurting every fucking body. You know? And now, since the men are hurting the women are hurting the men. You could be an innocent man And this woman been hurt by the bad guy, so she think you a bad guy by default, too, because you're a man. You know what I'm saying? You could be the blessing, but by default, well, all men cheat, so I'm gonna do him wrong too. Everybody doing everybody wrong because motherfuckers is hurt, or they don't love themselves. You know what I'm saying? Straight facts, man. Shit, I feel like it's gonna be hard because everybody's situation is different. But that's why I say get out of there while you can. Because let's say you do have kids, right? Let's say you have a kid or kids or something, right? And it's the wrong person. It's the wrong guy or girl. And you stay. Now you got another kid. And y'all ain't gonna do nothing to get worse and break up. So you might as well run out the fucking burner house before that motherfucker burn you and take your life. I'm just being honest, man. I'm just being honest. You gotta know when to cut the cord. And a lot of times people can't cut that cord because they have not fell in love with themselves, man. And the only way to fall in love with yourself is to be alone. So if you've never experienced being single, I'm talking about after being an adult. Of course you have as a kid. If you haven't as an adult, it's a must. Because that's how you learn how to love yourself and learn how to be your best friend and learn how to be okay if nobody's there. You see what I'm saying? Oh, he wants to go out and fuck other women tonight and then come home and lay in the bed with you. You don't got to deal with that because you're okay with being alone. Get out. Oh, she messed with another guy. I don't got to deal with that and be a sucker about it and try to buy her gifts and win her over. It don't matter how much that shit hurts. She got to go. I got to leave her alone. Shit hurts like a bitch, but I got to leave her alone. Because I love myself more than that. Some people don't. That's what I'm saying. Some people have not discovered loving themselves enough yet or at all. So since they don't really love themselves, they actually love that person more than themselves. That's why they'll allow a person to do some dirty ass shit to them, like beat on them or some shit, and they'll still stay with the person. And they don't love themselves, so they think nobody loves me and I'm not gonna get nobody else and I'm not gonna do better. I can't get better than the motherfucker beating on my fucking face and cutting my car seat up and shit. I can't do better than that. That's crazy, man. Being alone will always be better than that, man. Being alone will always be better than any of this toxic bullshit that we see around this motherfucker. I ain't saying relationships are perfect, but y'all know what the fuck I mean when I'm talking toxic. I can forgive a motherfucker for a lot of shit and not be bothered, but some shit is just toxic. Like calling a man a bitch and shit like that. You can't, some shit just can't be taken back, dog. So let me ask y'all people who say it's harder to be single, or it's hard to be single, which it can be. But the longer you're single, the easier it gets. Let me ask you a question though. Is it really harder to be single and not emotionally damaged by somebody and all this shit? Worry about if they doing this or that? Or is it better for a woman to be calling me bitch and sleeping with this guy and only with me to get money from me and all that? Which one's really better? Just wondering. Not to mention that a right woman might come along and I can't even fuck with her because I'm emotionally damaged or some shit. Or because I even got a girlfriend in general. Let's say that, right? Which one's really better? Not to mention that I could get this girl pregnant that treats me like shit. It's not better, man. Don't even look at single as being single. Or lonely or whatever the fuck things that pop in your head when you think of being single. Or I can't make it, I can't get by. You gotta find a way to get by. You're gonna have to find ways to get more money. Sometimes being with a man or a woman can actually keep you back from getting more money. Getting different hustles, different jobs and shit like that. First thing I did when I broke up with the ex, the first thing I did, work more days. Because I already knew, like, nah, I'm not going to let that shit play in my mind. Because like I said, you're human. It's going to hurt. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to run from the pain with drugs and shit, right? I'm going to do something productive to keep my mind off the pain. Don't go do bad shit. Like I'm going to go fuck a bunch of men or women, or I'm going to do coke or this or that. Don't do that. Just find shit to do that is more productive. Fuck it, I'll pick up more hours, make more money, or I'll pick up a Uber job, driver job, something. Whatever you gotta do. To stay busy and keep your mind off of the shit and let yourself heal, man. You got two choices, either keep getting hurt or heal. If you stay, you're gonna keep getting hurt. I don't give a fuck how much you love them and all this and all that. You know, her, him, it don't matter. But if you want to heal from that pain and you're tired of it, you have to leave. There's no other option. Don't use men or women to try to mask the pain either. It's okay if you want to, get to know people from a slow distance point. Yeah, that's cool, right? As long as you have good intentions and you're not really using that person to literally just cover up pain. You know what I'm saying? If you really have interest in them, I mean, why not? Why let them pass you by? But if they was really real, they'll understand. Like, I know you hurt. Because I understand. You know what I mean? But when you start acting like you don't want to leave the guy you with, well, then, nah, I got to go. Because that's different. That's different versus, okay, she's leaving. She's trying to find her way out. She wants to leave and all this. And she just want to be friends and take it slow and all that, because she's trying to leave and heal and all that. That's different. But when the motherfuckers is still holding on to motherfuckers and shit and have no intentions, now they lying to you and shit. Nah, fuck all that. But anyway, y'all, I ain't gonna lie, every now and then when I think about relationships and shit, it could make me sad. But there's no guarantee in that shit. And if I can't make myself happy alone, then it don't matter if I have the best woman in the world. I'm still not going to be happy. It's still not going to be enough. If you can't make yourself happy as a woman alone, it doesn't matter if you got a guy or not. You know what I mean? Because you're not happy. So it don't matter how good of a guy you got. So yeah, you better off just leaving. If they not making you happy, but you're not leaving because you're scared you're going to be unhappy. You know what I'm saying? But staying makes you unhappy too. Like, there's only one way out of it, y'all. So, I'm about to pull up to my job, man, and y'all have a good one, man. And just remember, man, that y'all love yourself. You got to choose yourself, man. You got to choose yourself over the relationship or the situation or whatever. Not y'all, because there really ain't no y'all anymore. If a man really want a woman and really care about a woman and shit, he ain't gonna be hurting her to that extent. You know, the extent of, disrespect, and neither will a woman. They're not perfect. They're not gonna be disrespectful to the point that you feel like you gotta leave these motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna change, man. They're only gonna get worse because you're still there. This is why a lot of men right now struggle with women in the so-called dating market of the world. Because women have the upper hand, because because men don't have standards. Simply put, women have the upper hand, not because they're better than us men, but because men do not have standards. So since men don't have standards, everybody's at women, right? Don't let her look good, then you can multiply that by 30,000 billion, right? So the men don't have standards, so women feel like they don't have to respect men. And also another thing, don't let, if you have options or what option you have, determine whether you leave or stay with somebody. Be real about it and leave for you, not for someone else. I've never, ever left somebody, well, one time, and I will never do that again. But I really like that person too, though. But still, it wasn't right. I should have just left and stayed alone and shit. But I didn't leave in a sense of like I'm plotting to break up with the woman. The shit just kind of happened. You know, we was already breaking up. But either way, I don't have backup plans ready when I'm about to break up with a woman, because that means that makes me kind of like I was doing wrong or something. I guess, in a sense. Guess what I'm trying to say is, when I leave a woman, I leave for me. Here's what I'm trying to say. It doesn't matter if I have somebody lined up or in mind or I interact, it don't matter. That don't fucking matter. If the woman had got me to the point that I need to leave, I'm gonna leave. No matter if I have to be alone. Period, man. It don't matter. And that helps you not settle when you leave this person. That'll help you not settle with the next motherfuckers. So when you out and, you know, trying to get to know people or whatever, you ain't gotta settle for none of their bullshit because you're not scared to be alone. But if you're scared to be alone, you're more than likely probably going to do what you probably done in the first place, which is pick somebody that you probably knew you shouldn't have picked. But you did it because, you know, out of loneliness and I'm desperate for love and all this, fuck it, I'll try it. You know what I'm saying? It'll help you not settle, man, because you're not scared to be alone. But if you're scared to be alone, you're liable to pick somebody based off your emotions versus logically thinking. I seen a post that say, how come men need to explain why they don't want to date a woman that's pregnant. Are you serious? If you pregnant, you shouldn't even be dating, though. You shouldn't even be thinking about another man right now. Like, this is the type of shit I be saying. How are you pregnant and thinking about another man already? That's crazy. You should be thinking about your kid. You should be trying to make it work with the guy that you had a kid by at least first. You know what I'm saying? That's what you really should be doing. But if all else fails, I guess you gotta go on your own. If you're a woman, you can't really depend on these men to be loyal to you or treat you right forever. You know, because it's always they're always gonna be on their best behavior at first anyway. Unless that's who they really are. You do have some good dudes, but for the most part, motherfuckers is gonna wear that mask, man. And we live in an era where it's easy for them to have access to other women, so they don't really have to act right. They don't have to. And most people think quantity is better than quality. So 5 women are better than 1 anyway. I just want the main chick at home so I can have somebody do my laundry and all this while I go out and sleep with other women. Fuck that. They don't deserve that. They don't deserve you. They don't. Why would you be sharing? Think about it. Why the fuck am I going to share a woman when I could just go find a woman that don't want nobody but me? Imagine being faithful to a woman that wants another man. I say it from a man's perspective, but the same thing vice versa. Being faithful to a man that wants another woman. Just imagine that. I'm just here. I really don't want you no more, but I'm just here because I'm scared. I haven't found nobody else to replace you yet. So the moment they find somebody to replace you, they're going to leave you. That's crazy. But really, you could have broke up and got over them motherfuckers. Trust me, somebody's going to leave somebody in the end. It never fails. Once these relationships get to this point, somebody will leave somebody or find somebody. That's just the way it is. Somebody going to leave, man. Sometimes it's just a person being strong and saying, you know what, I'm leaving. I'm done. I'm doing what's best for me. If you got kids, they need you there 100%, 110%. You know, it's hard to do that when you're emotionally sad or Yeah, emotionally beat down because some woman or some man and all this bullshit. You know what I'm saying? I refuse, man. I refuse. I'm human. Like, it'll affect me. Like, if I'm disappointed, like, damn, man, can't believe I gotta let her go. Yeah, I'm gonna be disappointed, but it's not gonna stop me from continuing to self-improve. See, before I fell in love with myself, when a woman leave, you know, you don't want to eat, you don't want to do shit. And then she looked like I'm glad I left this motherfucker. But now, if I have a woman, the next woman I get, if she leaves, right, it's gonna hurt like a motherfucker. But I'm still gonna be on my grind. I'm still gonna love myself, because once you fall in love with yourself, nothing can make you not love yourself. Or maybe she didn't leave. Maybe she just cheated with another man. I'm going to leave her. I don't have to put up with that because I love myself. I know what it's like to love myself now because I experienced it when I was alone for 6 years. I don't have to settle for, you know, women who want to have a bunch of men in a line, and I don't got to settle for that. Why would I when there's a woman out there that don't want that shit either and just wants to be with me? Why would I settle for that shit? Fuck no, man. For what? But like when I go on vacation, I'm about to go on vacation Monday. I'm going to have fun. I don't give a fuck if I have a girlfriend or not. That's not going to stop me. Sometimes I think like, man, I really don't want to because of this, that. No, but every time I go, I just enjoy myself, and God puts people around me. You know what I mean? Women, men, it just happens. I'm never alone, right? But to keep it real, would I rather have a woman with me? Yeah, why not? But I don't. So therefore, at this point, I don't have somebody that I could consider that I feel like I want to be that close to yet or whatever. You get the point. But I'm just saying that just because it might be better to be with somebody don't mean that your situation is better to be with somebody. Because if you're in a bad situation with a person, you know, it's basically just feelings that you're battling with. It's not the fact that these motherfuckers are so good that you just can't leave them alone and you're so happy. Because if that was the case, you wouldn't be thinking about leaving. So it's not about them being this great person, this woman or man. That's not the problem. The problem is the feelings and the emotions, the attachment. All it is an attachment. It's not about them being a great person. That's why somebody could cheat on you and you still stay. Because them cheating, right? They did you dirty, right? But you're not staying because they're a great person. You're staying because of the attachment. If it was based off of them being a great person, well, they would have been out by default. By the rules of the game, they'd have been done. A lot of relationships you think are great, you look on the outside like, man, they still together, man. They really love each other, and they probably hate each other, man. Just being honest. They probably done some shit you don't even know. You know what I'm saying? They're not going to tell you that. They can't tell you that. I promise you, man, especially women. Falling in love with yourself will be the best thing you will ever do as a woman. Let God have his time to shine in your life, man. Because sometimes God got to take these motherfuckers away. Like, I got to get these people out your life to give you what you really deserve and desire. But I can't do that if you keep holding on to shit. You keep holding on to the devil's lie he's got for you, then how am I going to give you the truth? I can't. God can't override our free will. I will say this though, another thing. If God doesn't want you with somebody one way or the other, he's going to get his way. If he has to beat you up against your head 20,000 billion times until you get it, that's what's going to happen. it is not going to stop. It's not going to stop, man. If God don't want you with somebody, I don't care what you do. It's not going to stop. It's going to keep going until it's over with. So, well, I'm here now, y'all, man. I hope y'all understand this shit, man. I just want to see people happy, man. Especially people who actually give their all in relationships and really try, man, and just get shitted on, man. You don't deserve that shit. And not only just relationships, people out here trying to find someone. Because you got a lot of them getting shitted on, too, by people who don't take shit serious. No, everybody don't wear their heart in their sleeve. Everybody not trying to find love and all this shit. You got to understand this shit, man. You have to find people who actually want the shit. But a lot of times the problem is the attraction is always in the way. Because a lot of times the most attractive guys usually are the ones that are dealing with a bunch of women. They abuse it, you know what I mean? And attraction is not just looks. A lot of it is how they deal with women, how they can make a woman like them. They're good at it because they deal with so many women. Versus a guy who, he might be a solid ass dude and never do shit to you, but he's not used to dealing with a lot of women, so he's not as good as the player. The player's smooth and slick. He knows what to do because he's been dealing with so many women. But he's really a rotten apple. He's really not good for you. You know what I'm saying? And that's how a lot of women get caught up with the so-called bad guy. You know what I mean? Good guys are boring, and it don't even be the good guy boring and all this shit. It's just the players just feeding that woman a bunch of fantasy bullshit because he's good at doing it because he's dealt with so many women. You know what I mean? Same thing with a lot of women. Telling men what they want to hear and shit. A good woman might not be as crisp when it comes to that game to try to get men attracted to her and shit. But fortunately, for women, it doesn't take as much for a good dude to like a woman. A good woman. Just compliance, maybe looking good, a little shit. But for a man, it's a different ball game, and that's why women get caught up for real. With the wrong guys a lot of times, man. You know? But even if you a good dude, and women are plotting, and you don't know no better, I've been that guy, that blue pill guy that didn't know no better. Didn't understand the bad women. Because all that red pill shit that's been exposed about women, that's the bad women doing that shit. That's not every woman. Every woman could do it, but every woman's not doing it. Every woman's not manipulating and lying and telling you what you want to hear to try to get your bag and all this shit. Every woman's not doing that shit, man. Just like every man's not doing that everything, right? The red pill shit exists because of bad women. Remember that shit. Not because of women in general. Remember that shit. A lot of y'all get it twisted and applied to every fucking woman walking on earth. Every woman walking on earth is not going to participate in the fuckery. Just like I'm a man and I see if a woman look good, I'm going to look, right? That don't mean I want to fuck every woman, that don't mean I want to sleep around. I'm human though. I don't give a fuck. I don't care if I was married or not, right? If I see an ass, I'm going to look. That's just what it is. But that don't mean I'm going to act on it. That don't mean that woman's going to know. And that don't mean that I want to go sleep around and cheat if I had a wife. If anything, it's just going to make me want to go home and get her even more. It's just going to make me desire her more. But I'm still going to look because I'm a man. You see what I'm saying? However, that don't mean that I want to sleep around. So when it comes to the red pill shit, yeah, women could do this or that like the bad women, but every woman's not going to do that shit, man. There's a lot of women, they don't want to get hurt. They tired of games too. What is it? It's called, it's Drake, but I forget the name. It's called Dreams or something. I'll figure it out and I'll inbox it to you. I think it's called Dreams some shit. I don't know what the fuck it's called. But yeah, that shit on point, ain't it? I'm gonna let y'all go, man. Don't be scared to be alone, man. Because you're really not alone. I just wish everybody believes in God, but unfortunately everybody don't. And that could be a big reason why it's so hard for them to walk alone or leave toxic bullshit. You know what know what I'm saying? It really breaks my heart though, for real, for real. Like women that just can't leave a toxic motherfucker. Shit, even dudes, for real. But men, I don't feel as bad for them because we supposed to be men. You supposed to be able to walk away from that shit. I can see why women is harder for them. You know what I'm saying? Because they're emotional and shit. You know what I mean? And they kind of depend on men in a way for certain things. It don't always have to be financial, but as a man, we ain't supposed to depend on shit. So when that woman mess with that other guy, whatever, you supposed to be a soldier about that shit, man. Or she started playing those little shit tests and shit, you supposed to be a soldier. It don't matter how much you like the girl. Every ex I walk away from, I didn't want to walk away from. But I had to in the end. Because they basically walked away from me first. But instead of being a man and just leaving them alone the first time, I didn't. I let them come back, and then in the end I realized, nah. And then I walk away. But you don't want to do that, man. Because it just gets worse. That's the whole point of this video. Like, it's just going to get worse, man. It's not going to get better. And what you desiring don't even exist anymore, if it ever did. Meaning, the relationship, the happiness that you think, or whatever, when you think of y'all, you know what I mean? That shit was probably a lie from the very beginning. Like I said, man, the devil can lie and make you think something that is something that it's not. Like, this is your love of your life right here. Counterfeit than a motherfucker. So God has to come and intervene in order for us to get what he has. But he can't do that if we don't cooperate. He can't do it. We cannot be scared to walk alone. We can't be allowing the devil to, I made a video on this shit. I'm not going through this no more. Where basically these women and men have become your God because you would rather follow the path of them. You know what I mean? You're scared to leave them alone, so you're following the path with them. And you're also following the devil's path because God already exposed to you it's a lie. Look at this person. Look what they do to you. They don't care about you. See, it was a lie. That's not real love. That's God letting you know. But what do? Believe the lie. Believe the devil's lies, and then we ignore the path of walking with God. Period. I don't know no better way to put it. Period. Out of fear, we don't have faith. What if I'm alone? What if I'm this? What if I'm that? It don't matter, man. All you gotta do is you say, you know what? I trust you, God. Obviously, you shown me enough about this person. I'm gonna tell y'all something else. Every time with my last relationship, I kept ignoring God. Right? He showed me something, I ignore it. And guess what keeps happening? More shit. You keep getting bumped in your head, but more stuff. The person just keeps doing more and more stuff, and you keep ignoring it, God gonna keep bumping you on your head. Until you get it that this is not where I want you. This is not who they are. Oh, she just fell on his dick. That didn't happen. They was just hugged up on the couch just because they was friends. All that bullshit, man. Or what if she finds somebody and I don't? All this, it don't even matter. None of that shit matters. The only thing that matters is it's hurting you just as much to stay as it is to go, so go. I would never tell people, I'm not trying to tell people to leave where I don't know their situations, but I will say this. If it hurts just as much to stay as it does to go, then go. Or should I say, if it hurts a lot, like it does to leave, go. Because it's still going to hurt more to leave than to stay because, you got that comfort and shit. But don't be deceived. In reality, it actually is hurting you worse to stay. It just seems like it's not because the person that you're with is the Band-Aid. Kind of like when you break up with somebody and then you find somebody else, or you get with a rebound or something and it doesn't hurt as much for now. You know what I mean? It's the same thing with the person you with. They the rebound. You not. That's crazy, isn't it? They're the rebound. You didn't leave them. You didn't go find a new person for the rebound. You're just staying with them to comfort the fact that it hurts that you got to leave them. So instead of leaving them, I'm just going to stay with them as the rebound to comfort that pain. And act like the pain's not there. Dog. I never looked at it that way. When you are scared to leave a bad relationship, the person you are with is basically the rebound. It's the same shit. Think about it. Because you get the comfort still of not feeling that pain, but the reality is still there. The reality is she cheated. I caught her in the bed last night with another guy, right? That hurts like a motherfucker, right? But if I stay with her and kind of act like she didn't mean it and all this shit, right? There's that Band-Aid. Same thing. She's a rebound. It comforts the fact of me. It comforts and hides the fact of me. It comforts the fact of me having to deal with the reality that I just caught her in the bed last night with another guy. And we try to act like it didn't happen and all this shit, but it's still there. You don't trust them. You wonder what they doing next or when they gonna do it next. It's done. But guess what? What if you could find somebody that ain't never done that to you and actually want what you want? It's gotta happen, man. If you're a good woman or man, ain't no way it's not gonna happen to you. The only way it don't happen to certain good women and men is because they don't pick the right person. They don't go about it the right way. They don't pick people for the right reasons. That's the only way that a good woman or man is not gonna get a good woman or man. That's the only way. I'm out, y'all. Finally, I'm off. I hope y'all have a good one, man. Self-love. Fall in love with yourself, man. If you about to leave somebody, do it for yourself. Don't do it for other men or none of that shit. And don't do drugs and all that shit to try to hide more Band-Aids. You know, sleeping around, drugs, this or that. You know, no. Don't do none of that shit. Find productive shit to do. Work more hours to get more money, something. And it's gonna hurt, so don't even worry about that part. You know, don't get scared like, man, this shit ain't never gonna heal and I'm gonna be feeling like this forever. No, you're not. It's supposed to hurt. It's gonna hurt. It's supposed to. That's part of the process. See what I'm saying? It's part of the process, man. Kind of like you get your ear pierced or something. Part of the process is gonna be some pain piercing the motherfucker, right? You don't just get your ear pierced and nothing happened, or having a baby. But in the end, the reward is way more. It's worth more than the pain. The pain was worth it because in the end, it brought you out of drowning water, basically. To me, the pain that I experienced was worth it. Maybe not then, but now that I look back on it, I'm happy it happened. I wouldn't be who I am if it didn't happen. I wouldn't be who I am. So really, I thank them for doing what they did. Everything in life happens for a reason, too. Don't be scared, man. Y'all are stronger than what y'all think. That's another problem. Y'all don't realize that y'all are strong people, man. You think you're weak, you know, and that's why you're not leaving, or, you know, sometimes you're scared to try a different job or promotion or something like that because you haven't experienced that self-love, which another thing that comes with the self-love is confidence in yourself, ability to believe that you can succeed and all that. All that shit comes with this self-love shit, man. That's why it's important, I think, for everybody to be alone for a while at some point in their life. I feel like God ordained it, to be honest. Plus, you get closer to God too. Sometimes that's what God wants. Sometimes maybe in life God wants all our attention. But some of y'all don't believe in God, so you know, still God, He still exists. You can say what you want. I know God exists. And I know that He might isolate people for reasons. It is what it is, man.